What's up guys, Kevin Cage here with another crypto update. Big thank you to all that hit the like button, and let's kick it off. So in today's video, we're going to dive into XRP, HBAR, Casper, DAG, and a few other alts. First up, on Hedera.com, looking at Hedera's governing council backed by the world's largest organizations: Google, IBM, LG, Nomura, Deutsche Telekom, DBS, and Boeing. Shinhan Bank is what I referenced yesterday with that actual proof of concept with central bank digital currency use cases leveraging Hedera. And in yesterday's video, we covered that both Hedera, involved with MTech of course, which is built on Hedera, and the company Ripple are working on central bank digital currencies being tested in a sandbox environment. Now, speaking of Nomura, this is a Japanese investment bank. Now remember this, a few months back, Japan's Nomura said to launch a crypto unit with decentralized finance and non-fungible tokens. They also carried out their first crypto derivatives trades. So this Japanese investment bank is launching a subsidiary to give institutions access to digital assets. The new unit will have a staff of 100 by the end of 2023 and will offer exposure to crypto, DeFi, and NFTs. And now my speculation, knowing that Nomura is in fact on Hedera's governing council and has a vested interest in the network, I would assume that they're going to be building some of that infrastructure on Hedera, or at least build bridges to it, especially seeing that the NFT ecosystem for Hedera is beginning to get some momentum. Now we see LG as well, and I know many are familiar, and this just came out, LG Electronics to launch Hedera-based crypto wallet. Now when this type of news comes out, you can bet that all of LG's competitors, even subsidiaries, are seeing this news, so they're now also seeing HBAR. So LG is preparing to release its first crypto wallet application named Walipto in the third quarter of 2022, coming up quick. They're in the final verification phase. Walipto is built on Hedera Hashgraph, and remember, it's not a blockchain. Sometimes they use blockchain as like an umbrella term. Hedera Hashgraph is built on a DAG, a directed acyclic graph, but they still use blockchain in the space as kind of that big umbrella term for DLT, but really a DAG is just another type of DLT, just like blockchain. Walipto currently supports Hedera's HTS tokens, but it's expected to expand the list of supporting networks and tokens upon official release. The company has yet to decide the practical utility of the application, but is in the stages of preparing for the emerging use cases of blockchain. And in the video I did yesterday, if you want to check that out, it's also on my channel, we discussed HBAR and additional use cases for carbon credits. LG also announced it'll incorporate non-fungible token platform features on its line of smart televisions, following a similar move by rival Samsung. So LG is following Samsung. Samsung is now seeing this LG news about HBAR. Very interesting. And just so people understand how big this is for the future of Hedera, LG last year was the biggest seller of home appliances in the world, registering sales over 27 trillion Korean won. That's over 20 billion US dollars in sales. Please understand, this is huge. This is not just some mom and pop shop saying, oh, we're using HBAR. LG is building a Hedera wallet. Plus Japan's Nomura actually doing crypto derivative trading. We have DBS, one of the largest banks in Singapore right here, on Hedera's council, also a Ripple partner, has spoken at Ripple's swell, has XRP on their trading desk right now, and I'd assume HBAR will be added too. And Nomura is a Japanese bank building infrastructure for crypto. Next up, for all you DAG holders and DAG chads out there, we have the Stargazer wallet. So this is a Chrome extension, along with being available on mobile. Now we have Stargazer wallet now supports all Polygon tokens. The more bridges, the better. Also shared by Stone Pipes, we have Mainnet 2.0 launching on September 28th for Constellation's Hypergraph. Also on XRP Scan, keeping tabs on the XRP amendment for XLS20, enabling NFT support for the XRP ledger, we are at 88.57%. Everything's looking good for September 13th. We have 31 yays and 4 nays. And if you're in the XRP community and you wanted to keep tabs of this link live, I did tweet it. Also, next up for Casper, it is official. All of Casper's private and public sale tokens have been unlocked. So Casper's initial ICO or initial coin offering was on CoinList, as you can see right there. If you want to create an account there, you can be ready for the next bull cycle and be ready for the next token sales, because there will always be opportunity even in a bear market. And Casper was definitely one of the largest ICO sales on CoinList. And I'm happy that the token releases for these sales are finally over. We can also see that Masari.io has published a Casper profile, so we can see what is Casper, overview and history, the roadmap, contributors, investors, advisors, tokenomics, going over the consensus mechanism, technology, governance, and regulation. Next up, I Cointelegraph and talk about a depressing article. So we have the ETH merge that's coming up in mid-September, and this merge might be a little heavy on your wallet. According to a tax expert, if the switch to proof of stake results in a chain-splitting hard fork, there may be tax implications. However, right in quotes, it also says if the merge does not result in a splitting hard fork, then there are really no tax implications. Saw Jungle Inc. sharing that we have Cardano listed on Robinhood. Now, although I'm not the biggest fan of Robinhood, I don't use them. It's great to see it's listed on one of the largest platforms, more eyes, potentially more money invested into ADA. Next up, if you have time, I highly recommend going through this awesome thread shared by Blockchain Backer showing a variety of indicators and really comparing it to a couple years ago, even previous Bitcoin cycles. And remember, this is never financial advice. I always appreciate his insight and we can all make our own decision. So he's sharing several technical indicators, including Bitcoin's price chart on the weekly. We can see the 15100 MA, which is a death cross in previous cycles. Looking at Bitcoin market cap and actually measuring the percentage to the moving averages, super interesting. Talking about Bitcoin market cap hitting that fib extension at the 4.236, and a perfect backtest on the previous all-time high for Bitcoin market cap, not the price. And Bitcoin market cap again hitting a 786 fib retracement. Looking at Bitcoin's oversold conditions with its RSI down here, looking at Bitcoin's market cap, super interesting. I'm going to pull up a fractal shortly with HBAR, Casper, and a few alts, because I want to talk about this fractal of 2015 for the Bitcoin price chart. He's also looking at other structures that mimic the end of 2014, and plenty of other good stuff. Next up, we have the Ethereum price chart up top dating back to 2015 since its launch, and we have the HBAR price chart on the bottom, comparing different structures and looking at these huge moments of accumulation, of distribution, massive sell-offs, and just doing our best to compare. So again, the market capitalization of both of these assets is entirely different. So are the tokenomics. So is the macro environment in which Ethereum was born in compared to when HBAR was born. But we can still see very similar patterns of human psychology mapped on this chart. We can see huge levels of distribution and sell-offs just like we've seen for HBAR. We've seen areas of accumulation and expansion just as we've seen in the past. And huge distributions after the initial launch just like Casper. So when ETH was born, huge distribution sell-off. Same thing for HBAR. I was buying HBAR at launch on its first exchange, and it dumped. So you can see these two structures very similar. We have a consolidation period and a bull run. Hopefully you can see some of the similarities I'm looking at as we have this big impulse creating that high, coming back down into consolidation, then creating another high. Same thing for HBAR. Then we came into this big sell-off for Ethereum, this huge distribution, this big bear market. Now looking at HBAR, we've come all the way down and we are backtesting that previous all-time high price that was set in the beginning of 2020. Now if you go to other alts, I mean even QNT did a 90% drop, so HBAR's all-time high, give or take, let's just say 58 cents. We can see currently we are down 89%. That wick takes us down to 92, but even at this bottom is a 90% drop. Interesting that Algorand essentially did the exact same drop, and then QNT did the exact same drop. Why are they all at 90%? Because alts are correlated. Now, QNT's token supply, it barely changed. HBAR's token supply increased by over 230% since last September. A 230% increase. That means if the supply never changed, HBAR, instead of trading at 6 cents today, would be much higher. So these are other things we have to consider instead of just looking at the buying and selling pressure. The circulating supply, if that increases, that will also dump the price. So there are so many factors in crypto in terms of the token economics or tokenomics. So now when you're looking at fractals, you don't expect a candle to be like for like, but you want to see some type of rhyme in the future. So looking at these structures, of course, the impulses and the fibs are different. For this case, like let's just do HBAR. Let's just use the high right there to the low, wick to wick. And what do we see? We have reached an 8 Fibonacci extension to perfection right there. Now, if we do the same thing for Ethereum using that same high to the swing low, wick to wick, what do we see? A perfect 89 fib extension before the crash. Remember that Phantom and Luna did this as well. Even though Luna went to 0, it actually did hit an 89 fib before crashing. As you can see for Luna, high, low, wick to perfection. Where did we go? The 89 fib. Same thing for Phantom or FTM, high to the low. Where'd we go? 89 fib, actually a double top at this level, right there. So my question while comparing the Ethereum and HBAR price chart is where are we? Are we already at the bottom? If we can hold this support, we very well could be, but that's entirely up to Bitcoin. And overall, with NFTs, with all this huge news that's going around for HBAR's ecosystem per the roadmap, and maybe even a Coinbase listing as they've shared, when are we going to get any type of retracement? We can use different swing highs and kind of go through each of these and really just compare. Next up, looking at the Bitcoin price chart and the 200 daily moving average alongside Casper. Now remember, Casper was born at the peak of the market. It never saw a bull run. It was born at the very beginning of the bear market. Now turn the lights on. This is the Bitcoin bear market in 2015. Looking at a variety of bottoming structures, and we can see that Casper here has rejected that 200 daily moving average previously before the big crash. We're still well below this 200 MA. That's currently just under 5 cents. And look at this, from this previous high for Bitcoin, it didn't come up and really pop for another 700 days. And my assumption is that we're somewhere down here for Casper. Right around there. So at least we know the token releases for Casper are officially done. That was painful for the past year. And that is the risk of buying an asset initially right after ICO. We can see the same thing with Glimmer just doing that big old dump. But there's plenty of things I'm looking forward to with Casper. Especially when we can finally get this breakout and turn this next level to support, as we can see the Bitcoin price chart did right there. I want to see us eventually break out of this range. I don't want Bitcoin to dump. I don't want to create another all-time low price. I want to break out, show signs of strength, get out of this accumulation, and start turning these previous levels into support. 5 cents, 7 cents, and more. Now this is a book I've recommended in the past, an Altcoin Trader's Handbook. You can get this on Amazon as a paperback or a Kindle. I'm not paid to talk about it. I just think it's a phenomenal book. And if I had this initially when I started my crypto journey, I would have saved so much money talking about, basic charting structures, reading order books, and the concept of accumulation and distribution. For anybody that is new to the market or upset about 90% crashes, please read this book as a foundation. It'll give you so many more tools, so much more information as a necessary foundation. Shared by Blockworks, the Web3 developer stack of Coinbase. You can see app enablement, we have developer tools, infrastructure, and protocols. So for protocols, we can see Algorand, we can see Phantom, we can see Crypto.com, we can see Near, AVAX, Cardano, Solana, ETH. Next up, this was shared by Emi Yoshikawa, a Ripple employee, and we can see Btrax or Beatrax establishes a Web3 design lab to accelerate new business creation. We have US Ripple Inc. participates as a strategic partner. This new service is aimed at revitalizing the Web3 business for Japanese companies in the global market. We also have CEO Mr. Iguchi of Audio Metaverse has been appointed as an exclusive advisor to the service, and Ripple has become a strategic partner of this Web3 design lab. So I assume this is going to be a great thing for the XRP ledger in Japan because this is focused on promoting the introduction of the XRPL. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe. All links can be found in my link tree linked in the video description, and I will catch you in the next one.